Good evening, guys. It's September 24, 2019, and welcome to our Market Insights, where we are going to discuss your favorite stocks and we'll review them. We'll analyze the potential movement in the coming days based on the performance, looking at the indicators that we use here. Okay. So go ahead and drop a comment. I was not able to give everyone a heads up, but looking forward to you guys in joining us tonight. So far we have Wiki. Hello. Good evening. And Mark, of course. So, yep. Meg, Green, and CHP for you guys. It pays to be on time, right? We'll review your stocks first. So let's first talk about Meg, Green, and CHP for Mark. Okay, got it. Let's check it out. And I'm sure you're already very familiar with the indicators that we are using. So let's check them out, Meg, so we can have more stocks to compete tonight. Okay, we have a good bounce for Meg. See, this is what we were talking about the previous days, where it maintained its movement around the support area, and your RSI has already given us so many signs and signals that it'll bounce anytime soon. And indeed, today, it managed to give us a good bounce. So looking forward for more green candlesticks in the coming days. Hopefully you were able to already get in around the 485 area today. If not yesterday, that was already a good level at 4.80. Okay, what about green? Green also had a good bounce. Okay, but let's see. So it created a support in this area, right? Right in that area. For the past how many days, it landed right on that spot, creating a brand new support. So I'm thinking we might see some more green candlesticks, but this is the direction that I am anticipating, pretty much the same as how the other stocks are moving. It will give you another green, it'll increase and then revisit the support before it continues to rally on the upside. Okay, so the nearer you are to the 2.38, the better. But if the market gives you, let's say, only up to 2.46, that is still okay, right? But definitely the rule of thumb is the nearer you are to the MA20 line, the better. That is if you want to still get in this stock. Okay, so those are your key areas to watch out for. CHP. Nice movement. We also had a bounce here. It stabilized in that area where it created a support. And this is it. So I'm thinking we might see some more bullish movements for this stock. Overall, yep, still at a healthy level because you're still within in the RSI, you're actually less than 50 levels there. Look, overall, we're still at a very cheap level. I think it's about time that this stock should give us some more bullish movements because it has been on a decline since 2017. Okay, So I think this is the bounce that everyone has been waiting for. Hopefully, for those who bought this at the much expensive price, you were already able to average down. But definitely, looking at today's candlestick, this is a bounce. And if you want to buy some more or accumulate some more volume, if you can get in near 2.64, that's better. Okay. Good evening, Ron. Mark, your Suki is here again. Thank you very much. It's nice to, of course, you have a companion with you while you learn this together, right? So this is our daily dose of learning in the stock market. So let's check out IRC, and this is for Ron. Okay. So hopefully, so it's not touching the MA20 line, Ron. And look at that. It's also, if I may say, this is also a support area. And it was validated back here. But of course, the fact that it's MA20 line, I always believe in MA20. It acts as a support. Now, let's see, just observe the market tomorrow. Hopefully, the price does not break down, meaning it does not go lower than MA20, because it can potentially happen. Just observe if you still would like to get in the stock. Just check the market movement on the first 30 minutes. See where the movement is happening. Is it below the 1.45 or is it above the 1.45? And decide on what game plan or what strategy you'd like to apply in this trade. Are you a long-term investor or are you a trader in this case? So if you're just trading it, make sure to always establish your stop loss area. Ideally less than 3% or 3 to 5%, around that level. Okay. All right. Let's check out. I'll add some more. So IRC. JFC. Let's check out JFC. This is everyone's favorite. JFC, MBT, these are the most requested stocks. So currently, it's still, it's sustaining that support. Okay, it's making it even stronger. Okay, and you're still looking healthy in your RSI, where you have this movement. Okay, and you're still at that level for 3 days straight now. This stock has landed on the right spot in this level, 220 levels. Okay, so for me, it's still a good opportunity for us to add some more volume for this stock. What about MBT? MBT looks like this is already a possible bounce for MBT, but not super confident yet. Because look, one time this stock also experienced a bounce, right? But because this is still lower than the previous day's candlestick, so it's not yet a guarantee. Okay, so this one is still bigger in terms of its size, and the body of the green candlestick is much smaller than the previous days. That means the downtrend is not yet over. Even more when the next day you had a big red candlestick that's engulfing this green one. So what we're expecting to happen here ideally is that, let's say, okay, you already have a green candlestick. Tomorrow's candlestick should end at a much higher price, and let's say around this area, 67.95 or 68. That way we can say, okay, downtrend is already over, because what you want to see here is the first three or the next three candlesticks should engulf the last red. If on the second day it does, then good. Your last chance would be the third day to end at a much higher price compared to the last red day. Okay. Hello, Ate Laura Calderon. Okay. Yes, guys, my only request is for you to also share our live session to your trading groups, to your friends, to your walls, so that we can start influencing our community. So they can start learning the stock market, and then we can all do this together. Okay. All right. So Virgo, hi Victor. So we have GFC, MBT. Let's add Virgo's request, ABA, Geo, pcor, ISM, X. Okay. And Vita for Garcia. Okay, so let's continue ABA. Any update on ABA here? Okay, so I'm thinking it'll revisit the MA20 line, similar to what happened here. It created a bullish movement and then revisited MA20. It rallied up again, and then maybe it will visit MA20 once again. So we don't really know the next tomorrow where the exact price is, but definitely what I can say is that maybe it will revisit that area around 90, 91.90 area, which is really, really close to where it is at right now. So what we want to see is, of course, price does not break down. But I hope it will not, because look at the MA20 line. It's the direction of the MA20 line is pointing upwards. So that's the ideal state. Geo. For Geo, this was a good opportunity to, for those who entered right up here, this was the opportunity where you could have taken profit partially, right? Because right now it is bound to make a retracement and maybe revisit the 0.2271 area again. Around that level. This used to be a resistance, you know. The price was trying to break that, and then one day it was really successful and it revisited the next day. So your previous resistance becomes your next support. And now this is about to give us a retracement. Hopefully it stops around that area where we plotted the line, 0.2276. Let's see. Okay, so for example, you already partially sold some of your shares here. That means you already have a buying power, and let us say your original average is around 0.28. Then that's the time when it reaches this level, you use the buying power, and then you purchase at this level. That means you can have more volume at a much lower price, bringing your cost average at a much smaller rate. Okay, from a 28.28, potentially you'll end up at 0.24, 0.25. We'll see, depending on the volume that you buy, of course. Next one, Geo pcor. pcor, I have not opened pcor for a long time. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is the support that I see. Notice, landed in the same area and landed in the same area. So let's plot our support in that level. Okay, do you see that? Twice, and then maybe tomorrow it might revisit that area, 5.02. And of course, the next thing you'd like to check out is your RSI. How does your RSI look like while this is maintaining at this level? It's giving us an upward direction. So my recommendation is just wait. Hopefully tomorrow the price or the market gives us a chance around the 5.02 area. And then if you want to be really sure if it is going to give a good bounce, look at this pattern. Wait for a green candlestick to come out before you enter. So tomorrow might give us something like this, touching this level. But we'll just observe, okay? For those who want to be sure, wait for a green candlestick to come out either tomorrow or the next day before you get in. But this is the support that we are seeing. At least you already have an area of focus or a price to watch out for. Okay. The next one is ISM. I think ISM made a dip today. It broke the MA20 line. Oh goodness. It might revisit this area again. This. Okay, screening it from here down, from top to bottom. So that's how I screen my support and resistance. From where it is at right now, I screen it from top to bottom. Where is the next area where you see price stopping at? So this is the next area where I see some consolidation that was happening. Price stopped at the same area, and then there was a price breakdown, and it became a resistance, right? There was some price rejection, and eventually it broke that line, and then you had a bull run or bullish movement, and then it might revisit that line again before it gives us another bullish movement. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay, did you get that? Price was landing on the same area, and then there was a breakdown in the price. Tried to recover for several days until this day, August 30th. It has successfully broken that resistance, and it will now revisit it. 5.04. X. For X, I'm thinking could be this, right? 0.94 is the next support to watch out for. Price should not break down because this is already at a very cheap level. Okay, so let us say tomorrow the price lands on this price. Look what, okay, so not yet. Do you see an upward trend? A little, right? So let's say tomorrow when the market closes, check if there's an upward direction in your RSI. Okay, but I'm thinking it might give us a few days lingering in this area before it moves up again. Something to this effect, where it landed almost on the same spot before the next bullish movement happened. Vita. As for Vita, you already have experienced a good bounce today. Used to be resistance, broke out of that resistance, okay? Now let me form that. Okay. This area, so it's an area. Sometimes it's slightly higher, slightly lower, but we can still consider that. Okay, so this is already a bounce. How far are we from the support that I plotted? Okay, that's already a bit high, 3.92. So let us say tomorrow the market gives you a chance around 1.22. That's still a tolerable entry price. Okay, so try to get in around that area, or even better if the market gives you a chance at the 1.20 level. But so that's the recommended entry price there. But definitely, overall, maybe on a weekly time frame, let's see. So we just want to understand where the direction is at the moment. You're sitting at the MA20 line in a weekly time frame. So hopefully this gives us a some more movement above the MA20 line. So that's what we are trying to, that's what we're hoping for. Otherwise, if price breaks down, then we're on a not so good level when the price ends below the MA20 line. It might continue to dip and go back to either this level, 1.18 level, or around the 1.08 level. Okay, just watch out for it. Let's check out. Hello, Alkin. Did we check PIP? Okay, let me just scroll up a bit. So we have CHP, Alkin. We already talked about it, but let me open PIP for you. Ali, JGS. Is that the JG Summit or JGS? There you go. Okay, JGS. Kailan get out po? Naka-deposit na po ko, ma'am, sa COL. Babawas na lang ba yun sa order ko na IPO? Can you refresh me on when the IPO date of, is this for hlcm? Let's check out. You know, when you go to the social section of Instagrams, there are a lot of scoop that you can get there. Unless you can give the info to me, guys, you can share when is the live date or when is the IPO date of hlcm. So definitely, once you have the buying power, and once you have the buying power, they will just deduct it from your buying power. That's how I understood the what do you call that? The memo that they have on the website. Okay. Also, guys, if you know anything about the hlcm, go ahead and share it. I'll also try to gather some more insightful materials around it so we can share it to everyone. Yep. Okay po. Kailan get out po? So, good evening, Nikki. Nikki, Maxis. Okay, I'll check out Maxis, but smph I already... oh no, I have not talked about smph yet. Okay, I'll open Maxis. Paata. Puro na ako negative. Which stock are you referring to, Victor? What are you looking at? Which stock are you looking at? You're welcome. Hi, Mitch, my friend. Okay, CLI for RID. Jane, good evening. Okay, and of course Romeo for IDC. Okay, all right. So we stopped at Vita. Let's go to PIP. PIP, I think this is okay. We're on a weekly chart, but right away I can say that it will potentially dip on a weekly chart. Okay, but this on a daily chart, we had a good bounce around the MA20 area. Okay, so if you are interested in this stock, make sure you are entering it near the MA20 line. But I am so curious how could be this is just a retracement. It move up, retraced, and might potentially give us another rally on the upside. Maybe on a weekly chart, it can give us a chance around 1.91, but really don't know if that's going to happen this week or in the coming weeks. Okay, but on the daily chart, you are already sitting right at the MA20 line. So if you want to observe or get in, make sure you're always near the MA20 line. If you see some signs of weakness, the next possible support that we can see is the previous resistance of the stock, which is around the 1.93 level. Ali, checking out Ali. Okay, your Ali is just use the 48 area as your support. And now we're triggering the MA20 line on the upside. So hopefully this gives us some more bullish movements in the coming days. Do you see the MA20 pointing upwards? That could be a good sign too. Okay. So either enter here, and then let's say it gives us some more green candlesticks in the coming days. So the safest now, since you're already above the MA20 level, the safest entry price would be at the MA20 area. Okay, just in case tomorrow the market does not give us a chance around 47.97 area. And the next one is Ali JGS. Wow. So the condition is, let me just plot this, okay? Because I think JGS, but of course this is a very established company, right? This is JG Summit. And we have experienced a good bounce. It was on a decline for how many? Since 2017 and year end of 2018. Most of the movements really happened on the downside, and now it's rallying upwards. So our goal, what we want to happen here is, of course, this MA20 line is sustained. If you want to get in, that should be around the MA20 level. But if you see some signs of weakness, the next possible landing price would be 69.69. So just watch out. I'm not saying it will happen tomorrow, right? So if you can, if you'd like to trade this, the safest, of course, is around the MA20 line, or make sure your time frame is on a faster time frame if you want to trade, like 5-10 minute time frame. Okay, that's how traders do that. Okay. Oh, JFC, Michelle is also negative in JFC. JFC AC at MPI. Tataas ba, ma'am? Okay. So I mentioned about JFC. I'm not sure though what was your entry price in JFC, because JFC is now sitting at the support area. But definitely if you're negative, if you are already on a big negative for any given stock, I would prefer for you to hold that stock at a much longer time. Just be a little patient, because it's really hard when you are not able to cut your losses while the percentage is small. I know it's really hard to cut that when you're already around 10%, 15% on a negative. Unless you sell it, that becomes, it's not yet an official loss. It's a paper loss. But of course, you already lost one important element there, which is time, though. But so you have to weigh things, right? If you still have the funds and you still have the patience to wait a little longer, then just hold on to it. Okay, but if you're using this, or say you're trading as your main source of income, that's the reason why traders closely monitor their trades down to the minute on a per minute level, because they cannot afford to lose a lot. Otherwise, if they lose a lot, then their funds are held. It will not generate any income for a long time. But let's say you're an employee and you have other source of income and you did not cut your losses right away, then just leave it there. If you have extra money, then you average down. So you see the difference? One person finds your action incorrect because he has a different discipline, he has a different objective. But if your objective is, this is just an extra activity or an extra income on the side, and you have other source of income, not cutting a loss can be an acceptable action. So let's check out. I'm adding, so I already added CLI for RID, IDC. I already mentioned JFC earlier. JFC is already at the support level. So if this is the time you enter JFC, this is a good time. MPI, let's add that. Okay, so let's take a look at JGS. I already mentioned that. SMPH. Let's migrate to SMPH. Okay, SMPH did a big jump, and I would have to say SMPH, first of all, is a stock for investing. And if the market gives you a chance around the 35.40 area, that is still a good entry price. At least now, we're seeing some signs of bullish movements for this stock, because it has been on a decline and it consolidated within the area. And now I'm thinking it'll continue to give us some more bullish moves. There is still your risk to reward ratio is still in an ideal state. Your potential reward, if the price, let's say, reaches this level around 39, that's an 11% possible gain. But of course, I'd like to stick to my recommendation as always. With this being a previous resistance, that will potentially now become your support. So if the market gives you a chance right at this area, around the 35.47 area, that will be a good entry price. Maxis. Okay. We have a bounce for Maxis. Yep. This is that's the support. It's an area, guys, so it could be slightly higher or slightly lower, but at least that's the area. So we have already experienced a bounce. Looking at the much longer time frame, if you want to create a box and would like to be conservative in your moves, this is the box that I'm seeing. Okay, there you go. That is the Darvas box. So if you want to do range trading, the nearer you are, let's say you enter near the lower side of the rectangle, that would be better. And then you take profit somewhere here. And just do that every time, because I think this is still giving us some sideways movement. Just trade it. Find the support take profit at the resistance. CLI. Okay, CLI might revisit your MA20 line, which is of course your support. Let's check this out. I'm seeing that in the coming days, it might, especially tomorrow, I can still see that it might revisit this line. Okay, remember there was a gap up here, and the mentality of a stock is, of course, it will revisit that gap and fill that gap before it goes up again. Okay, let's take a look at CLI, IDC, IDC. For IDC, I don't like it when this MA20 gives me this kind of direction. Okay, so it might give us another red day tomorrow. Let's see if this 6.71 is going to break. That's the next support that I see. I really don't like this when this MA20 line gives you a downward direction. Okay, so just observe 6.73 because it might revisit that. And hopefully it just gives us a good bounce. Something like this. Okay. MPI. Okay, MPI. So you see when you have this, I think we mentioned this yesterday. Okay. When you have something like this near the support, that could mean a sign of reversal. I'm not even sure if it was MPI that we were talking about yesterday. But this is at the support area, right? And this is what we call a hammer. And then, well, technically, it did not give us a lot of movement today, but definitely it gave us another hammer today. This time around, it's green. So any moment from now, I mean, within this week, hopefully we'll experience that bounce that we have been waiting for. Okay. At least somehow, what's that? 0.20%. That's the downside when you are trading the Philippine market. The movements are like less than 1%, 2%, 3%. But when you're in the US market, imagine this. This is overstock.com. And the market just opened 9:30 in the evening. Right away, a big jump, 10.90%. Yeah, plus 10.90% from yesterday's candlestick. Now moving up to 11.44. Those movements, those are common movements in the US market. But with the Philippine market, the volume is so low. When you see trades that are, let's say, 1,000 plus trades, that's already a good volume. Some will only have 300 trades, 500 trades. That's why you would wonder sometimes, I already posted a sell order and it was not executed because no one's willing to buy it. Okay. KPPI. Let's check out KPPI. Okay, KPPI is creating that support in the level where it is at right now. Right at this area, that's your support. Hopefully the price does not break down because, we've already experienced the big dip and it just created some sideways movement around this area. So hopefully, since we're already near the support, price does not break down and give us a good bounce. Just watch out what happens around the 10.07 area. Okay? Yeah, and even this one, it's already moving down, but the volume is starting to decline. That means no one is already selling this. They find the stock already cheap. But you can still you cannot tell whether that is already the final decline because your RSI is still right at the middle. It's not saying that it's already oversold. So just observe 10.07 area. Okay. Geraldo. Okay. So let me add your request. So I've already covered JFC and MBT. So let's take a look at WPI and now. For WPI, okay, making some sideways movement here. So if you are still interested in accumulating volume for this stock, um, I think we're still in a safe level. This still is considered, you're still at the cheap level for this stock. If you want to get in, and if the price market gives us a chance at the 0.69 area, that will be ideal for an entry price. But I'm thinking slowly it will start to create some bullish moves, starting to move upward in the coming days. Because for 1 week now, we're moving above the MA20 level. Okay, so good time to start accumulating. We already had JFC, MBT. Let's take a look at now. For now broke that MA20 line. So this was not a good sign yesterday, and we said, yeah, it wasn't. But let us see if this support is going to sustain. There were several days where the price landed at this level. So really tomorrow is a make or break day for this stock. Price has to bounce. Otherwise, we have a long we will experience another big dip for this stock in case. This is the next support that I see. So it's really going to be a little far. All right, so let's watch out. Give us a green candlestick, otherwise you can catch it, okay, at the 2.72 area. So I'm not sure though what your average price is. I have a feeling some of you may have entered around the 4 pesos level when it dipped and gave us a chance around 4 something area, around this area again. That could have been a good price to partially take profit, and then you could have bought it right around these days, okay, so that you can average down without having to add some more funds. That's how they would do it sometimes. Thank you po, Miss JD. God bless more po. Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. MRSGI and HLCM. Okay, MRSGI. I hope you're also reviewing the stocks we are discussing today right after the market closes, right? You go back to these stocks and check whether our analysis is correct. Okay, I'm not saying I'm 100% correct because each time I review it, there are some insights that are not going our way, but thankfully, most of the things we've covered here are moving in the direction we have forecasted. So it's a good habit. I hope you can also watch that in our YouTube channel, Miss JD, so you can subscribe to that and then go back to the video. And sometimes it will sound boring if you've already heard these things, so you can just increase the playback speed. Okay, so Miss JD, guys, please do subscribe. Let's grow our YouTube channel as well. Let's go back to our discussion. MRSGI is sitting at the support. Okay, just to be safe, let's plot our support in this area. where maybe this level. Okay. Anyway, it's an area, right? Okay, so that area. So it might revisit that. So let us say the price reaches that level. Observe next. You have to observe the movement of your RSI. You should see something like this. Okay. So currently it shows us that kind of direction. Okay. But we're not in that area yet. So check when the price hits 2.35 and you still see this upward direction in your RSI, then you can say this is already the end of the decline and you will experience a next possible bounce. Okay, so another thing you need to take note of for candlesticks, of course, these candlesticks send us messages, right? If you have something like this is a candlestick that signifies a possible reversal. A doji is also one, right? So you try to observe the previous movements. This type of candlestick, this type of candlestick, this could also be considered as this, right? So those are your possible candlestick patterns that signify possible reversal or bounce. Of course, pair it with the movement in your RSI. Got it? HLCM. HLCM. Could this be a resistance now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight days. We'll see, okay? Because look at this. Even though you're already resting above the MA20 line, sometimes it overshoots, right? And then it gives a decline. So let us say tomorrow it sustains around this area, maybe it might create a brand new support in that area, considering that you're already sitting at the MA20 line. If not, this could act as a resistance. Remember, when you're moving below the MA20 level, your MA20 can act as a resistance. Okay, so if it ends lower than the MA20 line tomorrow, then you might experience some more downward movement and it might revisit this area because we see price landing at this level. Okay, so I'm going to plot two lines for you to observe. Your MA20 plus this line, okay, as the next possible dip. So the goal is for the price to start in this 14.24 level, and most of the action should happen on the upside for us to say that indeed we broke out of that resistance officially. Got it? Okay. Miss JD, guys, don't forget. PIP. I already mentioned PIP, Juliet. Let's check phen for Brenda. Okay, MBT. So phen, mrsgi, APC, STI. Okay. All right. So HLCM. Next would be phen MRC. Phen. Oh, what happened? Triggered the lower Bollinger Band. We might experience some more red candlesticks, and it might land at the 2.29 level. Okay, sorry to disclose that, but that's what the candlesticks are telling us. It triggered this. So again, going back to the things you need to observe whenever a candlestick triggers the lower Bollinger Band or the upper band. Okay, so it triggered it. while it's true you got a green the next day, the green is still smaller than the previous day. So the goal is for the next 3 days at least, any of these 3 days should engulf this candlestick. It should end higher. Okay, but look what happened. It did not end higher than this red candlestick, so the decline isn't over yet. See that? Look at this example. Red candlestick triggering the lower band. 1, 2, and the third day is higher than this day. That's why we had some more green days. Okay, did you see that? This is a perfect example. On the reverse side, this one triggered the upper band, right? And for us to say that it will potentially decline, in the first 3 candlesticks after that, it should end much lower. And in this case, on the second day, it already ended at a much lower price. That's why you had some more declines. So that's another key learning about Bollinger Bands. Okay. So phen, I forgot what I said. Let's see, going back. Yeah. So those are the things you need to observe. So I'm thinking we might see some more red candlesticks. And this is the next area that I am seeing as a support. MRC. MRC, it's flatlining. Okay. Still trying to maintain its movement. Showing us a sideways movement. So if you're patient enough, I think this is the time when I can say the stock is just gaining some power and then some energy before it finally moves. Okay, gives us another bull run. But because we're already at a very cheap level, I'm thinking the only way to go here is up. For me, this is the lowest it can get. Look. Not naman this one. Okay. So we're still at a cheap level, maintaining its sideways movement. What we need to wait, though, is this making some sideways, but of course your RSI should already give us an upward direction, which is, I think, yeah. It's just that I think volume, look at the volume, 59 trades for the day. It's already giving us that direction. We just need some volume to really start building up. APC. APC might revisit your MA20 line, or could be this, your previous resistance. Okay, and then it landed almost at the same spot. So maybe that could be your next possible support. Okay, but definitely I would have to say the market might give us again another chance to enter right at this area, 0.64 area. Because here it was already at the oversold, overbought. STI. STI, still, we're now at the resistance area. Used to be a resistance. Support, previous support. Price breaks that support and now trying to break that. So you're at the resistance area. So 2 things can happen. It's either it can go back to the MA20 line or it will give you a breakout play. So just observe. Just to plot, this is for me a resistance now, and this is the support. If you know how to do momentum trade, then let's see. But look, your volume is still very, very small. Okay, so if market gives you a chance near MA20, that will be safe. Thank you. So that's for you, Brenda. MBT and JFC, just for the benefit of everyone, because this is a highly requested stock. GFC already had a bounce, but same rule of thumb when you talk about Bollinger Bands, because like what happened here, there was a red and then there was a green, but because the size of the candlestick is still smaller than the red candlestick, that's why downtrend is not over yet. So what you want to see here, hopefully tomorrow, the candlestick should be bigger than this red candlestick, because your threshold is 3 candlesticks after that last red candlestick. Okay, so that's your trigger. So it's a wait and see game for MBT, but you're already at the oversold level. JFC at the same time, I would have to say you're still flatlining at the support area, but your RSI is already giving us an upward direction. So if you've been in this stock for a few weeks, few months now, you managed to wait that long, I think a few weeks of extra wait could be, could give you a much bigger bigger payoff in the long run. So just hold on to JFC. I would have to say this is a really, really good company to invest in. Okay. And that, my friend, is our session for tonight. Laura, replying to Laura Victor, tanong ko lang po, paano pag gusto i-sell na yung sa IPO, same procedure po ba kung paano ipag-sell sa stock? Okay. Guys, the IPO part, I would have to ask for your help. Maybe if you have some learning materials or articles that you have read somewhere, feel free to share it here on our wall. Because right now, what my only basis for any of my insights is the chart. For the news around or any news related to your company or to the company that you're eyeing, I don't have visibility on those because during office hours, I'm 100% focused on my work. So that's my key ask for you guys. Let's help one another. If you know something, go ahead and share. But for me right now, my only basis are the charts. Okay? Thank you, Geralda. Thank you so much, Miss JD. Really appreciate it. And guys, hope to see you. No, not see you. Chat with you again tomorrow. I've changed my shift and I'm back in the morning shift and I'm at home at night. Okay? So see you again. No, chat with you again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.